Hello guys, today I'm going to read about the Mona Lisa's mystery, an art history mystery by Dina Anazastiso, illustrated by David Cockcroft. I remember this Mona Lisa has been painted by the artist called Leonardo da Vinci. Now let's look at the mystery. Between the years 1503 and 1506, the Italian artist Leonardo da Vinci worked on a painting that would become one of the most famous paintings in the world. It's called the Mona Lisa. When he was a child, he likes art. He likes art. Then his parents sent him to study some more art. Then he draw an egg. Many pictures of egg until he was bored. He seems this was easy. This picture was easy. Until recently, there was a few current facts known about the woman in the painting, about her life. Her real identity has remained unproven. Many people thought that she lived in the town of Florence, Italy, when Leonardo also lived. Others believe that he painted it by copying the parts of several different peoples. Some people even thought that the artist just imagined her in his mind. New evidence supports the long-held belief that she was a real person and her name was Lisa. But why was the picture called the Mona Lisa? The evidence also shows that both Lisa's family and her husband, a wealthy silk merchant in Florence, knew Leonardo's father. The small painting has been hanging in the Louvre Museum in Paris, France, for over 200 years. Every day, visitors come to stare at her mysterious smile and her eyes. They try to imagine what she was thinking about as she posed. Artists look closely to see what special skills Leonardo would use to make her hands look so natural. How did she create the shadowy background behind her? But in 1911, another mystery about the Mona Lisa was created. One day, the painting disappeared and didn't come back for over 2 years. On August 22nd, 1911, an artist named Louis came to Louvre Museum to study and copy the Mona Lisa, as artists and students were allowed to do. It was a Tuesday, which is important because on Monday the museum was closed. Louis entered the room where the Mona Lisa had always hung, but the painting wasn't there. Had someone removed it? He waited for a while. Then he asked a guard to please go and ask about it. When the guard came back, he had very bad news. The Mona Lisa was missing. The police was called. They searched every room. Soon they had clue number 1. The Mona Lisa its wooden frame was found near the stairs. The police questioned every person who worked at the museum. They felt sure they had theft had occurred on Monday when the museum was closed. They guessed that the thief had been a museum laborer, or had he just dressed as one so no one would notice him? They thought that when the guard was away, the thief simply had taken the painting off the wall. He carried it to the stairs. Then he took off the painting's heavy frame. The Mona Lisa is painted on a piece of wood, so it could be rolled up. He had put the painting under his work shirt and gone down the stairs. The door was locked. He knew how to take off the lock, so he did. Then he walked outside and was gone. The museum was closed for a week. The police took was everyone they could think of. They closed all the border crossing and in and out of France. Fingerprint expert arrived. They fingerprint some people from all over the city and put the fingerprint on the file. Every day, people waited to hear what the police had learned. When the museum was opened again, people came to stare at the empty space where the Mona Lisa had hung over 100 years. They just couldn't believe that the Mona Lisa was gone. Then the police found clue number 2. Clue number 2 was a thumbprint. It was on the glass of the frame that they were found by the stairs. The expert compared the thumbprint on the glass to all the thumbprints. Sorry, I sneezed. They had put it in the file. One match. Would this print solve the crime? Everyone waited for the fingerprint result, but there was a big problem. The thumbprints on the glass was from the thief's left hand. The fingerprints expert had taken prints from people's right hands. They couldn't match the right hand prints in the file to the thief's left hand thumbprint. Everyone was upset. No one knew what to do next. For the next 2 years, people called the police almost every day. Everyone had a new theory about what had happened to the Mona Lisa or where it was, but there was no real clues. The Mona Lisa seemed to have vanished. Then came clue number 3, but perhaps it shouldn't be called a clue at all, because it was the thief himself who told the police his motive for taking the painting. The famous painter of the Mona Lisa, Leonardo da Vinci, was Italian. Leonardo had painted the Mona Lisa in Italy, but the painting has been hanging in the museum in France for years. Can you get the thief's motive? 2 years after the theft, on December 10th, 1913, a man named Vincenzo walked into the antique store in Florence, Italy. I have the Mona Lisa. The owner of the antiques store called the director of the museum in Florence. They both went with Vincenzo to his hotel room. Vincenzo opened a trunk and removed the false bottom. There was a Leonardo's Mona Lisa. Vincenzo admitted to stealing it. He had been a laborer at the museum. He saw the Mona Lisas every day. He was sad that it was in the museum in France. He motivated for taking it. He said, was to return the Mona Lisa to Italy, where he believed it truly belonged. Safely back in Paris, the painting was examined by experts. They wanted to be sure that this was the real painting and not forgery. X-rays and photographs were made. This was the same paint as varnish used in other Leonardo paintings? What about the wood on the wood on which it is painted? How old was it? The painting was indeed Leonardo's masterpiece. The Mona Lisa was returned to the special place in Louvre Museum. It's still hanging there today, and is seen by over 14,000 people a day. After only 7 months, Vincenzo left jail to cheers. He was a celebrity. People sent him wine and flowers. He married, and then the man who said that he hated France moved his family back there. Vincenzo Peruggia opened a successful paint and varnish store in a small French town. Then he lived a quiet and uneventful life until he died in 1925. Goodbye everyone. 是的人 and thanks for watching.
Good job.